Right now, as you rewatching this, a catastrophic winter storm is barreling toward your home. In less than 24 hours, over 100 million Americans will wake up to a nightmare they haven't seen in years. This isn't just another winter storm. This is the kind of event that shuts down entire states, the kind that leaves families without power for weeks, the kind that changes everything. And here's what nobody is telling you. The forecast just changed dramatically. In the last 6 hours, meteorologists have completely rewritten where the worst impacts will hit. Areas that thought they were safe, they are now in the bullseye. But don't panic, because in the next few minutes I am going to give you something nobody else will. The exact forecast for your state, down to the hour. You're going to know exactly when this hits your area, how bad it'll get, and what you need to do right now to protect your family. And if you stay with me for just 30 more seconds, I'm going to reveal which 3 states are about to get hit harder than anywhere else in the country. One of them will shock you. Here's what's happening right now. A massive low-pressure system is pulling Arctic air from Canada, moisture from the Gulf of Mexico, and cold air from the Pacific. When these 3 forces collide over the central United States, they are creating a perfect storm. And I mean perfect in the worst possible way. We're talking about snow measured in feet, not inches. Ice accumulation so heavy that power lines will snap like toothpicks. Wind chills approaching negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That's cold enough to cause frostbite in under 5 minutes. And those 3 states I promised you, here they are: Arkansas, Tennessee, and Mississippi. These states are about to experience ice storms that will make the 2021 disaster look like a practice run. We re-expecting over 1 inch of ice accumulation in some areas. To put that in perspective, 1/4 inch is enough to bring down power lines. 1 inch? That is catastrophic. But it gets worse, much worse. This storm isn't moving fast. It's going to park itself over the southern United States and just dump for 3 straight days: Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 72 hours of continuous winter weather. That is unprecedented for this region. Now, I know what you're rethinking. You are wondering, am I in the danger zone? Is my state going to get hit? That is exactly why I need you to do something right now. Drop a comment below with your city and state. Tell me where you were watching from, because at the 5-minute mark of this video, I'm going to give you detailed forecasts for 30 major states. But right now, I need to know where you are so you can find your specific forecast fast. Let me tell you about the timeline, because timing is everything with this storm. Friday morning starts quiet. Too quiet. Most of Texas and Oklahoma will wake up to clouds, maybe some light drizzle. Don't let that fool you. This is the calm before the storm. By Friday lunchtime, around 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, freezing rain begins in Oklahoma City and Tulsa. This is when you need to be off the roads. Not after lunch. Not after you run that one last errand. Right at noon, you need to be home. Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., North Texas gets slammed. Amarillo, Lubbock, the entire panhandle. Heavy freezing rain begins. Roads will become ice rinks in minutes. Not hours, minutes. But here is the twist nobody saw coming. The computer models we use to predict weather, they completely changed overnight. Areas that were supposed to get mostly snow are now looking at ice. Areas that thought they'd see rain are now in the snow zone. This is why you need to keep watching, because I'm going to break down these changes state by state. Friday night into Saturday morning is when this storm truly explodes, and I am not exaggerating. Between 10 p.m. Friday and 6 a.m. Saturday, this system intensifies faster than almost any winter storm on record. We call this bombogenesis. The pressure drops so fast that the storm literally becomes a winter hurricane. Little Rock, Arkansas. You re-looking at power outages that could last a week, maybe longer. The National Weather Service has already issued ice storm warnings for your area. That is not a watch. That is a warning. That means it is happening. Over 1 inch of ice is expected. Trees that have stood for 100 years will come down. Power lines will snap. And with temperatures staying below freezing for days, there is no quick fix. Memphis, Tennessee. Same story. Northern Mississippi around Tupelo, you are in the danger zone. This is going to be the worst ice storm your region has seen since the 1990s. Possibly worse. Saturday morning, the snow band shifts east. Kentucky, you re-up. Southern Indiana. Southern Ohio. By sunrise Saturday, you are looking at heavy snow rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. That is faster than plows can clear it. Roads will be impassable. Nashville sits right on the edge, and this is where it gets tricky. Right now, models show you getting mostly ice with some snow mixing in. But if this storm shifts just 50 miles south, you could see mostly snow. If it shifts north, all ice. Either way, you're getting hammered. Saturday afternoon brings the second wave, and this is the part that has meteorologists really concerned. New moisture from the Pacific Ocean combines with Gulf moisture. The storm doubles in size. Areas that thought they were done with precipitation get hit again. Harder, Dallas-Fort Worth. Saturday afternoon and evening, you are getting round 2 of freezing rain. This time it's worse because everything is already glazed with ice. The weight keeps building. Quarter inch becomes half inch becomes 3/4. Power grids start failing. Saturday night into Sunday is when the Northeast gets involved. And when I say involved, I mean buried. Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, southern New England. You're re-looking at 12 to 18 inches of snow. Some areas, especially in the Poconos and Catskills, could see 2 feet. This is the biggest snowstorm the Northeast has seen in 5 years, maybe longer. Philadelphia, you right on the rain snow line. Current models show you starting as rain, switching to ice, then heavy snow. That's the worst possible combination because it means maximum chaos. Rain makes everything wet. Ice glazes the wet surfaces, then snow piles on top, making it impossible to treat roads. New York City and Long Island, you are looking at 8 to 12 inches of snow with ice mixing in at the start. This is going to shut down the city. No question. Boston and southern New England, 12 to 24 inches of snow. This is historic for your region. The last time you saw snowfall like this was years ago. Get ready. Now let me give you something critical. Wind chills. Because it's not just about how much snow and ice falls. It's about the brutal cold that follows. Northern plains, you're already feeling it. North Dakota, Minnesota, northern Wisconsin. Wind chills are hitting -40 to -60 degrees Fahrenheit Friday and Saturday. This is dangerous cold, the kind where exposed skin freezes in under 3 minutes. If you have to go outside, cover everything. Face, hands, everything. That Arctic air doesn't stay north. It pushes south behind the storm. So even areas that normally stay mild, you're going to feel this. Atlanta, you might hit 20 degrees Fahrenheit with ice on the ground. That is a nightmare scenario for a city that barely has snowplows. Houston, you are looking at hard freezes Friday and Saturday night. Protect your pipes. Protect your plants. This is serious. All right, I promised you detailed forecasts for 30 states. We at the 5-minute mark. Here's exactly what your state needs to know. Texas. The Panhandle sees heavy snow 8 to 15 inches. Dallas-Fort Worth, you're in the ice storm zone. 1/4 to ½ inch of ice accumulation guaranteed. Some areas near Fort Worth could see 3/4 of an inch. Houston and South Texas, hard freeze warnings. Bring everything inside. Oklahoma. This is ground zero. Oklahoma City and Tulsa transition from ice to snow. You're looking at 12 to 18 inches of snow north of Oklahoma City. Tulsa area, 10 to 16 inches. Southern Oklahoma, mostly ice. Power outages are likely statewide. Kansas. Wichita and southern Kansas, 6 to 12 inches of snow with ice mixing in at the start. Northern Kansas, including Topeka, 4 to 8 inches. Roads will be treacherous Friday night through Sunday. Arkansas, Little Rock, this is your worst case scenario. Ice storm warning in effect. Over 1 inch of ice possible. Northern Arkansas, including Fayetteville, 8 to 12 inches of snow. The mountains could see 15 inches. Prepare for extended power outages. Missouri, St. Louis gets complicated. Current models show 5 to 10 inches of snow, but you are right on the edge. Could be more, could be less. Southern Missouri near Springfield, 8 to 15 inches of snow. Kansas City, 6 to 12 inches with ice at the start. Louisiana, Shreveport and Monroe, ice storm criteria met. 1/4 to ½ inch of ice. New Orleans stays mostly rain, but you'll feel the freeze after. Protect pipes. Mississippi. Northern Mississippi, including Tupelo, catastrophic ice storm. Over 1 inch of ice accumulation possible. This is a once-in-a-decade event. Jackson gets ice mixed with sleet. Roads will be shut down for days. Tennessee. Memphis, ice storm warning. 1/2 inch to 1 inch of ice. Nashville. Mostly ice with some snow. Eastern Tennessee, including Knoxville. Ice transitioning to snow. Great Smoky Mountains could see impressive snow totals, but ice comes first. Alabama. Huntsville and northern Alabama. Winter weather advisory. Ice accumulation likely, quarter-inch possible. Birmingham sits on the southern edge. You might dodge the worst, but stay alert. Mobile stays mostly rain. Georgia. Atlanta, this is trending worse for you. Winter storm watch now in effect. Ice accumulation likely, quarter to half-inch possible. This could shut down the city. Northern Georgia mountains, ice then snow. Southern Georgia, including Macon and Savannah, cold rain only. South Carolina, upstate, including Greenville, ice storm likely, quarter-inch to half-inch. Columbia sits on the edge, trending toward some ice. Charleston and the coast stay rain. North Carolina, Charlotte, ice accumulation expected, quarter-inch likely, possibly more. Raleigh and the Triangle, ice transitioning to snow on the back end. Western North Carolina mountains, heavy snow possible after ice. Asheville, Erie looking at ice then snow, total of 6 to 10 inches snow equivalent. Virginia, Southwest Virginia including Roanoke, winter storm warning, 6 to 12 inches of snow after ice. Richmond, ice at the start then snow, 4 to 8 inches total. Northern Virginia and D.C., ice briefly then 6 to 10 inches of snow. West Virginia, this is your big snow event. Charleston, 8 to 15 inches. Morgantown and northern areas, 12 to 18 inches. This is historic for your region. Kentucky, Louisville, 8 to 12 inches of snow. Lexington, 10 to 15 inches. Eastern Kentucky mountains could see 18 inches in the highest elevations. This is a crippling snowstorm. Ohio, Cincinnati, 6 to 12 inches of snow. Columbus, 8 to 15 inches. Cleveland and northern Ohio, 4 to 8 inches. Southern Ohio gets the most. Indiana, Indianapolis, 6 to 12 inches of snow. Southern Indiana, including Evansville, 8 to 15 inches. Northern Indiana, including Fort Wayne, 4 to 8 inches. Illinois, Chicago, 4 to 8 inches of snow. Not the worst UV seen, but enough to cause problems. Springfield and central Illinois, 8 to 12 inches. Southern Illinois near Carbondale, 10 to 15 inches. Michigan, Detroit and southern Michigan, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Northern Michigan, including Traverse City, lake effect adds to it, 6 to 12 inches possible. Wisconsin, Milwaukee and southern Wisconsin, 4 to 8 inches. Madison, 6 to 10 inches. Northern Wisconsin, lake effect snow adds up, 8 to 15 inches possible in the snow belts. Minnesota, Minneapolis, and St. Paul, 3 to 6 inches of snow. But the real story is the cold. Wind chills negative 50 to negative 60 degrees. This is life-threatening cold. Iowa, Des Moines, 6 to 10 inches of snow. Eastern Iowa, including Cedar Rapids and Iowa City, 8 to 12 inches. Western Iowa, 4 to 8 inches. Nebraska, Omaha, 4 to 8 inches of snow. Lincoln, 6 to 10 inches. Western Nebraska gets less, 2 to 6 inches. South Dakota, Sioux Falls, 4 to 8 inches of snow. The cold is the bigger story here too. Wind chills negative 40 to negative 50. North Dakota, Fargo and most of the state, 2 to 6 inches of snow, but wind chills drop to negative 60 degrees. This is dangerous. New Mexico, Albuquerque and northern New Mexico, 6 to 12 inches of snow in the mountains. Valleys see less, 3 to 8 inches. This is your big snow event of the season. Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, 8 to 12 inches of snow after brief ice. Pittsburgh, 6 to 12 inches after ice. State College in central Pennsylvania, 12 to 18 inches. Scranton and northeast PA, 12 to 20 inches. New Jersey, most of the state sees 8 to 15 inches of snow. Northern New Jersey, near New York City, 10 to 18 inches. Southern New Jersey, including Atlantic City, 6 to 12 inches. New York City, 8 to 12 inches of snow. Long Island, 10 to 15 inches. Upstate, including Albany and Syracuse, 12 to 20 inches. Buffalo adds lake effect, 15 to 25 inches possible. Connecticut, Hartford and most of the state, 12 to 18 inches of snow. This is a major winter storm for you, Rhode Island. Providence, 12 to 20 inches of snow. This is historic for your area. Massachusetts, Boston, 12 to 24 inches of snow. Western Massachusetts, including Springfield, 15 to 20 inches. Cape Cod, 8 to 15 inches. This is the biggest snowstorm you've seen in half a decade. Vermont, Burlington and most of the state, 12 to 20 inches of snow. Green Mountains could see 2 feet. New Hampshire, Manchester and southern areas, 12 to 20 inches. Northern New Hampshire, 15 to 25 inches. Maine, Portland and southern Maine, 10 to 18 inches of snow. Central and northern Maine, 12 to 20 inches. This is a classic nor'easter setup for you. Now here's what you need to do. Right now. Not tomorrow, Not later tonight, right now. If you are in the ice storm zone, charge everything. Your phone, your tablets, your laptop, your backup batteries, everything. Because when power goes out, it might be out for days. Fill your bathtub with water. If power goes out, water pumps stop working. You need water for flushing toilets, washing, drinking if it comes to that. Get cash. ATMs Don T work without power. Have at least $200 in small bills. Fill your gas tank. Gas stations can pump without power. If you need to evacuate or get to a warming center, you need a full tank. Stock up on food that doesn't need cooking. Bread, peanut butter, crackers, canned goods you can eat cold. Don T rely on your stove or microwave. If you have a fireplace, get firewood now. Stores will sell out. Medications. If you're running low on any prescriptions, fill them today. You don't want to be driving in an ice storm to get medicine. For those in the heavy snow zone, different priorities. Make sure you have a working snow shovel. Make sure your snowblower is fueled and running. Stock up on ice melt for walkways. Check on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors. Make sure they have what they need. If you have to travel Friday through Sunday, Don T. Seriously, Don T, this is not worth risking your life. Airlines are already canceling flights. Thousands of flights are getting canceled. If you can postpone, postpone. But here's the thing nobody's talking about, the economic impact. This storm is going to shut down major highways for days. Interstate 35 through Oklahoma and Kansas. Interstate 44, Interstate 30 from Texas to Arkansas. Interstate 55 from Arkansas through Tennessee. These are major freight corridors. Supply chains are about to get hammered. Deliveries will be delayed. And with the storm hitting right before the weekend, that means delays stretch into next week. The power grid is another massive concern. Ice brings down power lines. But here's the scary part. Repair crews can get out to fix them during ice storms. It's too dangerous. So even after the ice stops falling, there's a delay before repairs can start. And with so many areas affected simultaneously, utility companies are going to be overwhelmed. This is when mutual aid kicks in. Power companies from unaffected states send crews to help, but that takes time. Days, sometimes a week or more, which brings me to something important. If you lose power for more than a few hours in freezing temperatures, you need a plan. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills people every winter storm. People bring grills inside. People run generators in their garage. Don T do this. Ever. Carbon monoxide is invisible and odorless. It kills fast. If you're reusing a generator, it needs to be at least 20 feet from your house. Outside, in well-ventilated area. Not in the garage, not on the porch, outside. If you need heat and Don to have a fireplace or generator, layer clothing. Wear a hat indoors. Your body loses most of its heat through your head. Close off rooms you're not using. Concentrate in one room with your family. Body heat adds up. Schools are already announcing closures. If you have kids, they're going to be home. Make sure you have activities planned. Charge tablets. Download movies before the power goes out. Have board games ready. Because 3 days stuck inside with bored kids is its own challenge. For pet owners, bring your pets inside. This is not weather for animals to be outside. Even dogs bred for cold weather struggle in ice storms. Bring them in. Atlanta, I want to talk to you specifically for a second. I know you don't see ice storms often. That's exactly why this is so dangerous. Your city doesn't have the equipment to handle this. Other cities have hundreds of salt trucks. You have dozens. Other cities have experienced crews. Your crews don't see ice like this often. The hills in Atlanta make it worse. Ice on flat roads is bad. Ice on hills is catastrophic. Cars slide backward. Trucks jackknife. The whole city locks up. And we've seen this before. 2014, remember? People trapped on highways overnight. Kids sleeping in school gymnasiums because buses couldn't run. This could be worse than 2014. I am not saying that to scare you. I am saying it because the forecast has gotten worse for Atlanta in the last 24 hours. Take this seriously. Charlotte, same message. Raleigh, same thing. You are southern cities that don't normally deal with this. That makes it more dangerous, not less. Dallas-Fort Worth, you are used to ice storms, but this one is different. The duration is what makes it worse. You might have power outages that last through the weekend and into next week. Plan accordingly. Now let's talk about what happens after. Because the storm itself is only part of the problem. Monday morning, millions of people are going to wake up to a changed landscape. Power still out in many areas, roads still impassable, and then the sun comes out. Temperatures might even rise above freezing for a few hours. This is when things get really dangerous. Because ice doesn't melt uniformly. It melts on top, stays frozen underneath. That creates the most slippery conditions possible. Black ice forms. Tree branches that held together under ice load suddenly fail as weight shifts. More power lines come down. And then Monday night, temperatures drop again. That melted ice refreezes. Now you have solid ice underneath fresh ice. This can last for days. The economic cost of this storm will be staggering. We are talking billions of dollars. Lost productivity, damaged infrastructure, emergency response costs, insurance claims. This is going to be one of the costliest winter storms in United States history. But here's what gives me hope. Americans are resilient. We've been through storms before. We help each other. We check on neighbors. We share resources. That's who we are. So while I'm giving you all these warnings, while I'm telling you how serious this is, I also want you to know we'll get through this together. Over the next 72 hours, stay informed. Don't rely on just one source. Check the National Weather Service. Check local news. And yes, come back here because I am going to keep you updated. Weather changes. Forecasts change. What I told you today might shift tomorrow. That's the nature of meteorology. But the overall picture is clear. This is a historic winter storm. This is serious. This requires preparation. One more thing I haven't mentioned. Communications. Cell towers can fail in ice storms. Power outages affect towers. Ice buildup affects signals. Text messages often get through when calls don't. If you need to contact family, try texting. Have a communication plan with family. If you can reach each other, where do you check in? Maybe a family member in another state who can relay messages. Think this through now. For those of you who need to be at work, who are essential workers, healthcare workers, first responders, utility workers, thank you. Your job is about to get a lot harder. Be safe out there. Your communities depend on you, but they also need you alive. Hospitals are preparing. They were checking backup generators. They restocking supplies. They rearranging for staff to stay on site if roads become impassable. This is standard procedure for major storms, but it tells you how seriously they were taking this. Emergency management is activating. National Guard units are being put on standby in multiple states. FEMA is positioning resources. This is big. And for anyone thinking this is overhyped, that meteorologists always exaggerate, I want to show you something. The National Weather Service doesn't issue ice storm warnings lightly. These are rare. The fact that they've issued them days in advance tells you everything you need to know about their confidence in this forecast. The Storm Prediction Center has highlighted this event. The Weather Prediction Center has been tracking it for over a week. Every major weather model agrees on the broad strokes. This is happening. Now, I mentioned I'd give you something at the end, a teaser for what comes next. Here it is. After this storm passes, we retracking another system for the following week. It is too early to know if it'll be as significant. But the pattern we are in is extremely active. This might not be the only major storm system this month. I'll have updates on that as we get closer. But first, we have to get through this one. Remember to drop a comment with your location. I read every single one, and I'll try to respond to as many as I can over the next few days. If you have specific questions about your area, ask. I'll do my best to answer. Share this video with people in your life who need to see it. Your parents, your grandparents, your friends. Information saves lives. The more people who know what's coming, the better prepared we all are. And hit that subscribe button because over the next 72 hours, I am going to be updating constantly. You want those notifications turned on so you know exactly when things change. This is it. This is the big one. The winter storm we've been tracking all week is here. Less than 24 hours until it begins. You have tonight to prepare, make it count, stay safe, stay warm, stay informed, and we'll get through this